Okay, there's this guy named Joshua Haymes. He's on the left here, Reformation Red Pills podcast he leads. He knows Pete Hegseth and has had him on his podcast. He's like this ultra right-wing Catholic nutcase who wants to take over the government in the name of Christianity. And he listened to Nick Fuentes recently. If you don't know Nick Fuentes, he is a full-blown Hitler-loving, Sieg-heiling Nazi. And he had some interesting things to say about Nick Fuentes, so let's give this a listen. Both, I believe, are Catholic. Nick Fuentes is Catholic. I'm pretty sure Reformation Red Pill is too.
Yeah, like this idiot in a live chat says, flat out create a new NSDAP Nazi party. Yeah, great idea, dude. This is what I'm talking about. We should just make another Nazi party like Hitler. It's just like this low IQ knucklehead stuff. It's just got to be driven out. It can't be allowed to dominate. There must be a sustained effort at the very top to suppress that.
What he's talking about, Nick Fuentes, he is a Nazi. NSDAP was the Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which became the Nazi Party eventually. That was just its original name. Anyway, Fuentes believes in that. He just doesn't want it to be so overt and obvious. He wants to kind of sneak it in slyly, you know, the Nazi beliefs. And you can see this happening slowly but surely with pictures like this. This is the California Republican candidate for governor. My 0% unemployment plan. Arbeitmacht. This means work camp. This is a German concentration camp. He has a picture of a concentration camp in the background. That's psychotic.
Brutally. And with discrimination, with prejudice. You know, then what is the movement to be based on? Is the movement supposed to be about, you know, being resentful? Because I think resentment is bad, actually. Who will make the new symphonies? Who will make the new cathedrals?
This music is motivational, I guess.
I'm not feeling very motivated.
In a minute, Red Pill Reformation dude Joshua Haymes will come in and explain that he really likes Nick Fuentes a lot. Nick Fuentes has some very down-to-earth, logical, intelligent takes. He's very down-to-earth, logical, intelligent, reasonable person. It's just that he starts from a foundation of race realism. Black people are just genetically inferior. Jews are genetically inferior and genetically evil. That's the foundation he starts from. So when he speaks, he sounds very rational and logical and reasonable, and then he slips in Jews are Satan's pawns or whatever else. When you're not even when you let your guard down, basically. That's what makes him deeply dangerous, in my opinion.
Who will invent the futuristic cities, the new aqueducts, who will write the poetry? Are these people that are going to be grumbling Matt Walsh's bitching about anti-white racism? No. No.
He's also anti-Trump now. He burned his MAGA hat recently, Nick Fuentes did. A lot of people are turning on Donald Trump right now, not because he did something they don't like, but because they see the writing on the wall. He's old, and they're trying to set up a new successor. Trump should be setting up a successor right now, actually. Dictatorships fall during transfers of power, and that's why the transfer of power is so important in the United States. That's why Kim Jong-il set his son up to rule before he left, before he died. His son took power before that happened.
That's why I believe Kim Jong-un is currently bringing his daughter everywhere, to huge services and nuke military things.
Yeah, because transfers of power are dangerous moments in history for democracies, for dictatorships, for anything. And Trump doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the transfer of power. When he dies, who cares, right? He doesn't. So that's the moment when democracy is going to be restored, in my opinion, when Trump dies, because he's not setting up somebody to take control on his behalf. But people like Nick Fuentes are trying to prepare for that eventuality.
People that are going to build our future for us, the people that are going to build our revival civilization, they're going to be people that need to hear a different sort of message, an uplifting message, a message that looks upward, that points upward.
Actually, I really like that chord.
For the last several weeks, Nick Fuentes has been popping off, getting millions and millions of views. Today, we're going to be watching a clip that I think perfectly illustrates why he's been popping off, why he's been blowing up on social media. So my name is Joshua Haymes. Welcome to the Daily Dose, Christian conservative cultural commentary, where we apply the word of God to the world around us. And let's jump into it. So I'd never really followed Nick Fuentes before. I didn't even know what he looked like before just a few weeks ago. But for the last 4 weeks, all of a sudden, maybe you've seen this, he is everywhere, all over different clips, all across different platforms. And that tells me something. All right, that tells me that his message is resonating, and it's resonating with a lot of people. So over the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've probably watched like 20 to 30 hours worth of clips from this
That tells me he likes him, and that is psychotic and disturbing.
guy, whether it's from his show or from other commentators that are commenting on the clips from his show.
Like, remember, this guy knows Pete Hegseth and has had him on his show, and Hegseth agrees with pretty much everything that he says. Hegseth is maybe one of the most dangerous people in the country because he's so off his rocker, insane, and drunk on Jesus juice.
With the transfer of power between Trump thing, by the way, I don't think he wants to do that because I believe Trump thinks if he starts setting up a successor, then his power will, like, he won't have as much power because people are going to look to the successor since they have to prepare for Trump to be gone.
Absolutely, yes.
And he doesn't want to lose any of the power he can possibly maintain.
Right, and he hasn't even, like, named a successor to any degree. Like, he should be grooming a successor in the non-sexual way, hopefully. J.D. Vance? I don't know. Somebody. And he's not. And he's not going to, I don't believe. You have to be selfless if you really want your regime to continue. And Kim Jong-il did want his regime to continue. So he was selfless in passing the power to somebody else, who was also completely selfish and an extremist nutcase. That's why dictatorships often fall. Stalin didn't set things up to really transfer that way. Lenin did. Lenin did have somebody to set up to take control. Stalin.
When I hear about John Lennon, I just think of South Park.
I was talking about Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, but when I hear Lennon, I think of South Park.
Okay. Anyway. The point is, Trump is not setting somebody up for this, and that's the moment when things are going to fall apart for the right and not be recoverable. Hitler actually did set up a successor, believe it or not. It was supposed to be Goering, but when Hitler, he was super depressed at the end, not coming out of the bunker, not even responding to anything, and Goering saw that and took that as his cue. It's time for me to take control, and he sent a letter to Hitler. I'm taking control of the military in 24 hours if I don't hear from you, as was planned. And Goebbels was in the bunker, received the letter, and read to Hitler, basically saying, Goering just seized control away from you. He seized control of the army, and he is now running everything. And Hitler basically put a hit out on Goering, saying he betrayed him and everything else, and it was insane. Goebbels basically just turned on Goering and tried to destroy his life for no reason. Goering was doing the right thing in that one very specific case. The point is that dictators need successors or the whole thing falls apart.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
And my conclusion, my prediction is this. Nick Fuentes is not going anywhere, all right?
I agree.
He's not just going to fade away into obscurity. He seems uncancelable, right?
Well, he was canceled, and now he's back. So if you can really only be canceled once, for the most part. If that cancellation doesn't work, that's it. Because the crowd that comes in and decides to listen to you already knows about the first cancellation and says that's not a deal breaker. You know, Donald Trump said, I want to grab women without even asking. Everybody that supports him is okay with that. They all know that. They're fine. Trump is uncancelable. Trump is uncancelable now because he was already canceled, and the people that support him are the lowest of low scumbags who are okay with grabbing women without permission. Nick Fuentes was canceled. Everyone watching him knows who he is and likes that about him.
And that is much to the chagrin of the Republican establishment. I really do believe that Nick Fuentes represents like a general direction, a mood, a general direction that our country is headed right now. These America First ideas.
They're Nazi ideas, yes.
And now this is not a blanket endorsement of the man. I actually have many moral objections with a lot of what he has to say, a lot of his message. But I think it's incredibly important for us as Christians to understand why he's blowing up. Why is he blowing up right now? Not only that, we also need to think about how Christians should respond to the meteoric rise of Nick Fuentes. So let's jump into the clip from the video.
Thomas Cruz sent $50. Comments lit you up because PPL think you backpedaled on race and nerved about moving past anger. What's your take on that sentiment? To me, it's LARPers wanting you to be something unrealistic, while they're taking a stance normies are more willing to consider openly. I think current aware of and using the opportunity.
Sorry, why does he look like he's from a 70s rom-com?
Who, Nick Fuentes?
No,
The other dude?
yeah.
I don't.
Or he's like a 70s coming-of-age movie about Christmas and love and happiness. Like he's smoking a pipe right now.
He's a traditionalist. He thinks
I can
the old
tell.
ways are best.
He like visually too. Usually when they say that, they don't actually mean it. But no, he like visually fully wants to go back to the 60s and 70s.
La La Land 10 tenths, by the way, Ryan Gosling is so me.
At the end of the day, when it comes to that, we can't always be trying to please the most aggrieved element. You know, it has to move past a politics of resentment. It has to be more than that. So, yeah.
Like I said, Fuentes is very intelligent and very media savvy, and I believe he's correct that if the Republican Party wants to survive, it has to move beyond the party of resentment, which is all that it is right now. That's it.
I mean, look, people are going to be upset. People are not going to get it. But my job is to lead. My job is not to fill. And listen.
He's really working that pipe.
Yeah, I'm really distracted by it.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I'm on a run right now. I'm very popular right now. And what happens when you get popular for one or another thing is then people start expecting you to be a people pleaser. And I'm not here to be a people pleaser. I'm here to be a leader. That means I'm right before everybody else. That's what it means to be a leader. It means I'm right. I'm right before everybody else. It means I see the whole vision. I am going to take you to the promised land, and you're not always going to get it. And you're
Okay, I wouldn't follow someone if they were telling me that they're better than me and they're right before me and that they see everything and I don't. I feel like everything he's saying is dwindling his audience slowly.
I don't know. I think they like that kind of fascist talk, you know?
not always going to like the way it sounds. And sometimes it's a little messy or clunky or something. But, you know, I never tell you, trust me. I never say, trust me, believe me. I say, watch me work.
I don't think this guy's inhaling the pipe. I think he's
not.
just puffing on it. Like, why are you doing that? Isn't that tobacco in there? Why are you just puffing it?
Have I ever said, no, guys, really, you need to trust me, and here's why? I say, you're with me or you're against me, but in a year, we'll see who's fucking right. I've always said that about everything. You know, in 2018, we were feuding with Richard Spencer and the right stuff, and people wanted me, oh, you got to debate Richard Spencer. I said, you know what? Let's just see where we are in a year. I said, let's just see where we are relative to each other, and we'll see who wins. You know, there's a lot of talk, and people talk, and you listen to what I say, and you form your, you know, opinion on it.
Yeah, he's correct that there are meteoric rises and then massive crashes in personality. And Richard Spencer is a nobody. No one cares now about him. Nobody even knows who he is. Do you know who he is?
No.
He was a Nazi, one of the early leaders of, well, he was the founder, I believe, of the alt-right movement. Do you know of the alt-right movement?
Yeah.
It's basically the Nazi movement. And do you remember a while back there was discussion about whether we should punch Nazis?
Yeah.
That was him. He was the Nazi that was punched. Point is, Richard Spencer was the Nazi, and he is just completely faded into obscurity now. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally, so it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult. And you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
Even though you know half of what I know for the most part. I always say, don't believe me, don't trust me. I don't need you to believe me or trust me. I need you to watch me work. I will act, you will react. I will act, I will drive the conversation. You will be left a year later wondering how I predicted it. I will tell you the future today. I will pick apart the things that are incomprehensibly complex to you. You will watch, you will listen, you will react. And
wait, what is incomprehensibly complex?
In a year, you will say, how did he get it? How did he predict it a year in advance? How does he know all this? You will be left wondering. So,
I mean, Nick Fuentes is very media savvy. I see all of this. I'm very media savvy as well. I see all of the things that Nick Fuentes is doing, and I know all of the reasons he has for doing those things. And he does make predictions that come true because he sees how the media landscape kind of operates as well. He's not the only one out there that understands it. But it is his job, like it's my job. So he probably is more aware of like the media landscape than most other people.
You know, when I say what I say about race, which is we have to move beyond grievance and bitterness, if you take that as backpedaling, it shows you really don't understand what we're about.
Okay, first observation, we'll do this really quick. He is moving past the politics of resentment. That's the first reason that I think he's blowing up. And secondly, you can just watch the way that he communicates. Look at his rhetoric skills. He is incredibly confident. He's incredibly charismatic, and he is positioning himself as a leader. And he's not a—
Yep, that's correct.
Charismatic was such a word to use there after he told us that he's better than all of us and knows more.
Right? That is something that people with charisma can get away with. And if you're unfamiliar with him, yeah, this is a recent clip from him. This one is from September 9th, 2025.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know,
So an old generation?
I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a f.
That is racist of you. That is not very Christian of you. But he doesn't care, I guess.
rising for anything. I think men, especially men right now, are looking for other men who will grow a spine and lead out with conviction. Okay. Now, like I said, I have some strong disagreements with many of his views.
No, I haven't heard any yet. Are you going to lay some down for us?
But you can't watch that and
No, I guess he's not going to lay any down for us. You know why? Because he's encouraging people to follow Nick Fuentes with this, and he doesn't want to draw attention to the vile things that he says, like, it's racial for me. I hate black people, for example.
say, okay, you can't watch that and deny that he's got charisma, he's got spunk. You can see why people want to follow him. He's saying, look at me, just watch me work. I'm not asking you to trust me. That's huge. He's saying, I'm going to get up and do it. Okay, so that charisma draws people in, and I think what's really going on here, one of the big reasons he's blowing up is because he's saying, I'm going to move past the politics of resentment. He's reading the room. He's saying there's all of these influencers right now that are making their name by stoking that resentment, being, oh, you're so oppressed, young white man. Oh, the boomers have destroyed your life. Oh, and he engaged in that, but he's moving past that. Why? Because he's seeing the rotten fruit from that. He's seeing that it's literally just stoking resentment and division, and he's saying we need to move past that. I'm going to say this.
Right. Resentment and division is not going to lead to a prosperous society. It's the bottom line. And that's everything that the Republican Party is built on. So Fuentes is trying to build a new political party that can step in when Trump is gone. And that should concern us. I don't think we really need to worry about MAGA as much anymore as we have in the past, because Trump, you know, he's not going to be here forever, and the head of the Hydra is going to be removed when Trump is gone, and they're going to be aimless. They're going to be looking for somewhere to go, a partyless group of people, and Fuentes is going to try to vacuum up all of their attention. Anyway, disturbing stuff. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. We may watch this entire thing on my Unfiltered channel, Wednesday and Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. if you want to watch with me. Tell me your thoughts.